So you guys have seen that recently I've been sharing some content that is literally just behind the scenes stuff that I've been sharing in my Skool community. This is a walkthrough of my Notion systems. And I want to share this comment with you from one of my members inside of my Notion Meets Nervous System Skool community. She said that she's got a PhD in psychology specializing in ADHD in women, that this is one of the best examples of working with your brain she's seen. So if that sounds of interest to you, you've got ADHD and you use Notion, check this video out.
Hello, my friends. So I am finally doing the thing you all have been asking for. I'm showing you the inside of my actual Notion systems today. So fair warning, whenever I show the inside of my Notion systems, I warn you about two things. Firstly, this is not going to be some perfectly polished or aesthetic focused video. I'm showing you how I actually use my Notion system day in and day out, how I help it work with my ADHD brain. I actually had a friend make fun of me the other day because I am not diagnosed with ADHD, but I can tell you the tendencies that I have that are definitely ADHD related. I have time blindness. I'm a hyperfixator. I actually find I don't have trouble focusing. I almost am too good at focusing where I can get blinders on to everything else and completely lose track of time. So my ADHD brain, this is designed to work with and also to support my nervous system. So I'm going to show you what I mean in just a second. But I think the other side of this that I always talk about when I talk about Notion, you're going to start to realize I'm a little bit of a broken record with this, is the fact that you always have to take this with a grain of salt in the sense that my Notion system is 4 or 5 years in the making. I have been inside of Notion and using Notion for literally ever. I have been using it for so long at this point in time. And I think sometimes people see my Notion systems and they say, oh, okay, this is what mine should look like when I get started in it. But the fact of the matter is that's not the case. You're not going to use all of the different aspects of Notions I use when you first start. You're not going to have all of the different sections I use. I don't actually recommend that because that's a very overwhelming way to start. But what I want you to take from this video is the potential. I think that's the biggest thing I want you to focus on in what I'm about to show you is the potential of the Notion system that you can build. So with that, let me share my screen and let's get into this.
All right, I wanted to show you this screen share where you can't necessarily see my video, but you can see my Notion system here because I want to show you how I actually use Notion day to day. And I work out of the app when I use Notion. So this seemed like the best way to show you. So first and foremost, let's talk about dashboards. You're going to see a lot when you see people's Notion systems. They're day-to-day dashboard that they use. So they might have a HQ page or a home page, and it's going to be very aesthetic. It's going to have little photos, little widgets. If I'm being completely honest, I do not work off of this page 99% of the time. The pages that I work off of are the pages that are inside of this dashboards section at the top here. I actually just made a database that houses all of my dashboards as a way to more easily organize the places that I actually tend to spend my time. In fact, this first tab here is usually on my quick capture page. So actually what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to open a new page to show you my HQ. Also, spoiler alert, I am recording this the day that they're supposed to be doing fire alarm testing. So I'm hoping we get through this video before that starts. I probably just jinxed myself. But I have a lot of different dashboards that I use. And frankly, most of them aren't this home page. This home page is really just the top level page. So if we go over to my menu over here, this is just the top level page that organizes all of the pages underneath it. But I really don't use this page too much. What I use is the quick capture page, which is this page right here, because I think one of the core things that I personally need inside of my Notion system is a place where I can easily capture things. I can capture tasks, I can capture notes, I can capture things that I want to add to my library. I can see emails that have come in because I have an automation set up to bring my most important emails into my Notion system. My tackle list, which I separate my tackle list from my to-do list because to-dos are things that actually have due dates assigned to them. The tackle list is more ideas and things that I want to remember for later. Place where I can capture new contacts, new clients, content ideas, which I've been doing a lot of this week. So the quick capture page is a place for me to very quickly write down things. And that is a page inside of the dashboards that I use a lot. The other one is my daily check-in page. Part of my morning routine is I do this little check-in. So I will go in and I will log my habits. So for example, today, I haven't done this yet. Got 7 hours of sleep. I meditated. I read. I took my supplements. I haven't listened to my affirmations yet, but I have stretched and I have worked out and I'm doing my power hour. This was part of my power hour this morning. So I use that to log habits. I check in on things I have a finances manifestation that I listen to, a morning affirmation. Sometimes I will do a MadFit workout, but I actually did a different one today. And then I've got my various different power hours over here, which you will see that I'm actually moving into my daily pages. And I'll talk a little bit more about these daily pages in just a second. So I do that check-in. I have a check-out page, and I kind of use these two pages to like just bookend my day, you know, get me set up for success at the start of the day, and also just like tie up mental loose ends at the end of the day. So that's kind of how these little check-in and check-out pages are set up. I have a habit tracker. I have a mobile HQ page, which actually I'm not going to need this anymore because I am, for the 2026 version of my template, I am mobile optimizing the entire thing. Because I found I've been working more on mobile devices, whether that's my iPad or my phone. I've been working a lot more on mobile devices, so I want to mobile optimize it. And then we have the daily pages, which, if I'm being honest, like I said, I don't work on this page. I tend to work on these daily pages. And these daily pages are literally pages that are set up for, if you get to, I think, level 3 in our community, you will get access to my sustainable schedule mini course, which basically walks you through how to design a CEO schedule, with, you know, avenues and how to go about it, even if you are a corporate employee or you're side hustling currently, and then how to design your systems to support your schedule. So like, for example, Monday's my CEO day. So I've got my like to-do list, I've got my power hour, but I have a place where I can check in on my KPIs, check in on my sales, log habits, so on and so forth. So this is very much focused on like the big picture vision that I have. Tuesday is a client day. So really what I have here is I have a place to see my students and any clients that I'm currently working with, as well as my services, because this is a very service focused day for me. Wednesday is my like conversion day and creation day. So I have, again, my to-do list and then a place where I can see actually, I forgot. I'd previously redesigned this. I need to switch it back actually to focus more on the tutoring side of my business, but I've since consolidated down, so I don't have 2 businesses anymore. So that's a page that I need to update. That was a relatively recent change this fall. Thursday is the creation and conversion page. So I have my like outreach tracker. I have kind of some targets. I used to do a lot of networking on Thursday, so I have a place to kind of capture the new connections I was making, so on and so forth. So that's kind of Thursday. So each of these pages are designed for whatever the theme of that day is. And then Friday is like my catch-up day. So I have my projects. I have my tasks and to-do list. So this is just a catch-up day. So like I was starting to say, each of these pages is designed to reflect whatever the focus is for that particular day. And as I was saying, I use these pages more than I use this homepage, more than I use a lot of the other pages. It's part of the reason why I have certain things pinned. My quick capture page, my daily check-in and check-out pages are pinned. My content calendar is pinned. And then usually what I will have like over here, which I just don't today because it's, I'm showing you guys my systems and I just had to restart my Notion. I will usually have whatever the current day of the week is right here. And then if I have any other pages up, I have those here as well. So that is kind of a lot of what I do in terms of my dashboard view. Now, the next thing I do, and I'm just going to kind of scroll down here, is I have a task system that I really have set up to work with my brain. Firstly, you're going to notice that I do not have a lot of tasks showing on my main view here. That is by intention. And this task database is meant to have multiple views. I have the ones that like, these are the most pressing in your face to-dos that I'm working on. My decision priority matrix, this is where I go in and I kind of assign priorities to my tasks. So to create a thank you page, and actually I usually hide the hold off all column because I'm holding off on it. Then it's my, next up. Oh, I actually feel like this is messed up because next up should not be a category. I feel like a category got added. There should only be 4 categories. Yeah. The heck? I don't know how that happened. But anyways, it should be main priority, next priorities, and then would be nice. So thank you page might get moved into here. And you'll see I have a lot of stuff in these other 2, but I try to keep the main priority really, really lean to really focus on what I need to focus on. And that is all that shows in that main view. I also have a view that shows the stuff that's blocked. And actually I need to filter this so that the status is not complete, because like, I don't want to see the stuff that is already completed. I want to see the stuff that still is remaining to be done that's blocked by something else. So like I can't record my webinar until I finalize my slides. So this is blocked. I also have a view where I can see what's completed. I'm just getting started with my day, so there's nothing in here this morning. And that personally is just for me to like feel good about, yes, I did actually get some stuff done today. Time spent, you'll see there's a lot of zeros in here because I actually haven't been using this, but in my tracker here, so let's say I'm just going to add a task. Record Notion walkthrough, which, let's be honest, sometimes we actually really like to do this, is add tasks to our to-do list so that we can check them off. What I will usually do when I'm being really good is I will start my task, and you can see it changes it to in progress. And then once I'm done recording, so let's say actually, I'm going to change this to like 5 minutes ago. Let's make it like 9:15. And then let's say I finish recording this today at like 9:30. So then what it is going to go ahead and do, and let's change this to completed just so I can show this to you. Under time spent, it is going to show that I spent 15 minutes working on content today. I can also go in and I can reset certain tasks. So that's kind of what the reset view is meant to be. But I think the biggest thing I want to point out about this is it has multiple views. So I can organize in this view. I can see what's being blocked in this view. I can like hype myself up for the shit I got done in this view. And you can see here, it shows how long it took, my start and end time. And then I can reset the task if I want to. That's only helpful for like recurring tasks. And then I can see the time I spent working that day. So I've got these different views that have different intentions, but I'm really filtering by a couple different things. I'm filtering by priority. And you'll also see if I pop open one of these, I actually have some different properties in here where I'm also looking at energy. Is this something that's going to be a high effort task? Okay, I want to know that because I want to be able to sort by that. So like I could actually go in here and I could show effort so that I could make sure that the tasks that maybe I'm prioritizing in the afternoon when my energy tends to be lower are not these high effort tasks. So I'm kind of able to filter based on urgency. I'm able to filter based on effort. I could also add in a time component to help me like time block and filter by the time required. I personally don't do that just because that's not necessarily how my brain works. But like when I'm working day in and day out, I have my Thursday page up and I'm just powering through these to-dos here. So that is kind of how I'm managing my tasks day to day, week to week. I do also have inside of here, and actually one of the things that I didn't show you as of yet, let me go back to my Ellen's HQ, is another Notion best practice is basically any information that you are planning on storing inside of your Notion, you're going to use what are called databases. And basically all of the things on this page, this guy right here, this weekly tasks, this objectives page, these are all different databases. And databases are just ways to organize information inside of Notion. Whenever I have a database that I want to add, I always add it to this page. And there is a reason for that. Because when I'm like maybe rearranging stuff and maybe I'm going to reorganize this page and maybe I want to delete, I'm just going to do this because I can very easily add this back in. Maybe I want to delete this because I don't use it on Thursdays anymore. I can delete it super easily from that page because that is not where the data actually lives. That is just what we call a linked view in Notion of the data. The data does not live on this page. So I can delete all of this information and I don't lose anything because that CRM, that task database, they're all housed elsewhere so that I'm not losing anything. So that is another really, really good organizational strategy. You'll also see, and this is another big tenet of how I organize, I use what is called the PARA system, which is something that was popularized by Tiago Forte. The PARA system refers to projects, areas, resources, and archive. And these right now you're seeing are my areas. So you can see it's basically a way in which I organize information in my Notion. I have a health hub that's got stuff related to health. So nutrition, fitness, routines, and habits. I have like a recipe tracker inside of here. I have a workout tracker inside of here, all sorts of stuff inside of here. I've got my business HQ, which let's make this bigger because this is a big section. In my business HQ, you will see I've got my why, my mission. Sometimes when I'm in like get shit done mode for the business, I'm just on this page. And you can see I have different resources under here. I have a marketing and advertising section. So this is like all of my marketing and advertising stuff with my like campaigns that I'm currently running and currently working on, my content that I'm currently working on. This is my parent content for the week. And this actually already went out. So I can say published. And you notice when I say published, it goes away from this page. I can see all of the content that's been scheduled for the rest of the week. So this is like all of the marketing related stuff in here. If I go back, oops, I got to keep going back a little bit more, Ellen. Beautiful. So then I've got products and services, and I'm going to actually just open this in a new tab, which is another reason I like to show you guys stuff in the app. My products and services hub has all of my like current services, my current products, my templates that I'm currently selling. I can keep track of which templates are like which products are like my top sellers. I can keep track of my like nitty gritty details of my products and who's bought what and whatnot. So products like sales by product, I can keep track of down here, so on and so forth. So that's like the products and services hub. I have an operations hub, a sales hub. I have a mindset hub. I have an AI resources. So this is something that I've added in this last year to help me organize all of my AI shit. So I've got like prompts I like. I actually have no idea why Manual of Style and Common Core are underneath here. I need to move these three. These probably shouldn't be here. It doesn't really make sense for them to be here, but like custom GPTs that I really like. And then other resources that I use, AI tools that I've been curious about checking out, I've like got saved over here. So, and then I do have a tutoring kind of subsection of my business. So I created a little resource page for the tutoring part of my business, which I'm not going to scroll down because I want to keep my students' names private. You can see I have students, notes, lessons, resource library, homework, archive, etc. So all of my like business related stuff is here. I even saved some just like core information. So like this core nervous system regulation concepts that I've been kind of implementing into my life, helping and working with my clients on, I've got saved here as well. So basically everything related to my business is here too. So that's kind of my my business area. I have a personal growth area, spirituality, relationships, recreation, and fun. I have a home hub. I have a finances hub as well, where I keep track of my finances, contribution, and then I have all of these other dashboards as well. So lots of content is being saved in here. But actually, one of the places I want to show you that I really benefit a lot from, and you can see it's inside of the marketing and advertising, but I've got a quick link here because I go to it so much, is my content creation hub. So inside of my content creation hub, I have kind of like what I'm focusing on, my different content strategy, my content calendar, my different content channels. So the different social media channels, don't worry, I don't post on all of these. And then my content calendar. Now, I would say I generally don't go to this content hub page. I usually go to, and that's why I have it pinned over here, I usually go to my content calendar page because this is kind of where the action is. And inside of my content calendar page, I have all of this links back to my content ideas database. So this database right here is just a database of content ideas. Like every piece of content that I've ever had an idea about, every piece of content that already has an image or a video associated with it, which that just opened and started playing. All of these are just housed inside of here because I use a third-party Notion extension called Notion Social that allows me to post content straight from my content calendar. Now, my system generally for posting content is I have a parent piece of content that I create that's usually like a podcast or YouTube video. And then I create other content from that. So like my podcast, my YouTube video, my blog all went live on Tuesday. And then I post like Instagram shorts or Instagram reels and then YouTube shorts and then LinkedIn posts and Threads posts. These all kind of derive from the parent piece of content. So that's kind of my process and my flow for that, and how like I get a bunch of pieces of content from one parent piece of content. So really from one piece of content, I end up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces of content. Oh, and I actually just realized I think I forgot to post this. So I'm glad I'm in here. So yeah, that's how this works. And again, I use Notion Social. So how Notion Social works, and this is actually a bad example because that is not one of the places that Notion Social posts. Let's look at this example. So I downloaded a little clip from my podcast from Riverside. I put a caption, I put hashtags, and then I usually click this ready to post button and it changes the property to published or to done. And then Notion Social takes over and it will then schedule that for whatever date and time I've told it to post it on. And you can see after it posts it here, it keeps track of things like the URL, whether it's published, the likes. So this one didn't convert particularly well. Clips from my podcast really never do. My number of views, my number of comments, so on and so forth. So that's really handy because a lot of my social media analytics get pulled directly into here. And I was actually even able to the other day, let me show you this because this was really handy for helping me plan out like my Black Friday content, is I was able to go in here the other day. Let me see if I can find the view I made. Is it social media graphics? Yes, it was this view. I have no idea why I named it social media graphics, but I was able to go in and filter by Instagram, everything that was posted before today. And I was able to go in here and like filter by the thing that like got, this was actually a big one, the ones that got the top shares. So I will occasionally have stuff that doesn't get a lot of likes, but it does get a lot of shares. Like this one's really interesting. This smacked in the face by your day. Oh wait, where are the shares? The shares are actually, that's saves. This is the one I want. Top shares. So this is what it's sorting by. So like some of these are really interesting because they actually got more shares than they got likes or comments. Like this only got 41 likes and 3 comments, but it got 66 shares, which is really good information for me to know about like what my people like in regard to my social media content and what is resonating and what they are sharing with other people. Whereas like this one down here got 210 likes and 5 comments, but only got 19 shares. This post right here is just crushing it. Basically, it got 2,300 likes and it got 2,800 shares. So that's cool. But like, it's really nice to have all of this stuff built in here because now I don't have to go to another platform. I don't have to go inside of the stupid Instagram app and their stupid insights and analytics tracker, which just sucks, to see how some of my content is doing. So if you've got any questions about the Notion third-party extension, Notion Social, let me know. I have an affiliate code too, which I think gives you a discount. So I can absolutely share that with you if that's something you're interested in. And then I've already talked about my brain dump, my quick capture guy, which is something I do. And then I also do my weekly reviews inside of here. So I have a recurring task, and then that recurring task always pulls up my weekly reviews. And I've already shared this with you guys a little bit, but this is a big part of my process as well, where I will go in and review and plan my week so that I can make changes and I can make integrations. And then as I've showed you in some previous ones, we have our AI assistant built in here, which I use all the damn time. It's very, very handy. Notion Social is probably my favorite third-party automations, but I feel like what I love about this is it's so customizable. Like you literally saw me just a second ago, delete chunks out of my Thursday page, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to optimize this for my new CEO schedule. Hell, my CEO schedule is probably going to get an update since I am actually quitting my day job very soon. But this is a little sneak peek inside of my Notion system. We're honestly just scratching the surface. Like I have very handy pages in here that I use all the time. Like I actually just created a marketing playbook from a workshop that I was in the other day. And actually the crazy thing about this is what the Notion AI use video that I shared the other day. If you guys haven't checked it out, please do, because it built the AI agent built the majority of this page while I was literally in the bathroom, which was crazy. It's got an ultimate guide to my ideal client, which I just had it make some updates to this morning. I even have a page which you would actually not believe me when I say how helpful this page is. I have a page that has all of my affiliate and referral links here as well as some of the networking groups that I've been really enjoying being a part of because those are questions that I get asked. Like, hey, Ellen, tell me about that Notion Social third-party app. Like, cool, got you. Here's my link. Hey, Ellen, what are your favorite networking groups that are in person or virtual? Okay, cool, got you. These are some of the ones I've been enjoying the most. So like that's actually a really, really handy page as well as the referral and affiliate links. So that is it. That is kind of what I've got for you in terms of just a walkthrough. I didn't want this to get too crazy long. I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of behind the scenes. It's not about copying my exact setup. I never encourage this. Even if you download a template, you are going to want to go in and tweak it and optimize it because your system should work with how your brain actually operates. If you're in like the nervous system aware productivity space, or you're neurodivergent, or you're just tired of productivity systems that don't fit you and that feel like punishment to use, like this is the approach. Like design it for you, design it for your reality, tweak it accordingly depending upon what you need, because that's really how this system has come to be, how all of these pages have come to be, is because of that. So let me know if you've got any questions. I've got a lot of stuff coming up. I've got a systems design workshop coming up. I've got a lot of kick-ass deals coming up for Black Friday that are related to Notion systems. So if that's your jam, if that's something you're interested in, I would love to be able to support you in that. But with that, that's all I've got. Drop any questions, comments, anything like that below, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.